There was a time when the name Timothée Chalamet didn't just represent an actor, it represented a feeling. With his breakout role in Call Me By Your Name, Chalamet offered the world a profound emotional experience, a sensation deeply buried within the human subconscious. It was a feeling of summer, not just the season, but the concept. The heavy silence of a warm afternoon, the bittersweet joy of isolation, the slowness of life, and the nostalgic comfort of spending holidays in a quiet, almost childlike state of peace. It was a beautiful, poetic form of melancholy. It reminded us of our school summer breaks, that fragile window of time when we were caught between the end of youth and the terrifying embrace of ultimate freedom. As his career blossomed, Chalamet carefully curated his specific, haunting aesthetic, whether he was playing the brooding intellectual in Lady Bird, the romantic Laurie in Little Women, the tragic Nick Chef in Beautiful Boy, or the burdened young monarch in The King. He constantly delivered moments that pierced the soul. He became the face of a raw, elegant, and deeply intellectual youth. In a modern, oversaturated media, where everything is loud, fast, and manufactured, his characters felt like a breath of fresh air. He embodied the art of earning, a complex, beautiful sadness that we found impossible to forget. Every new film he released was a highly anticipated cultural event, awakening a unique, quiet sensitivity in the audience. We thought we were watching the birth of a generational artist who would forever guard the gates of pure cinema. What made this era of Chalamet so magnetic was his willingness to redefine modern masculinity on screen. Before him, Hollywood was dominated by hyper-masculine, untouchable action stars or polished romantic leads. Chalamet introduced something entirely different, a soft, delicate vulnerability. He wasn't afraid to look fragile. He wasn't afraid to cry, to look lost, or to portray characters burdened by intense emotional weight. He possessed a classical, almost poetic elegance that felt like it belonged to 19th century European literature rather than 21st century American cinema. This subversion of tropes wasn't just style, it was an architecture of intimacy. The audience felt safe with him. We trusted that he was choosing roles based on artistic depths, rejecting the shallow glitz of commercial cinema. He was the indie darling, the internet's thoughtful poet, the actor who felt like an open book. But then the dream ended.
I admire people, and I've done it myself, to go on a talk show and go, hey, we got to keep movie theaters alive. We got to keep this genre alive. And another part of me feels like if people want to see it like Barbie, like Oppenheimer, they're going to go see it and go out of their way to be loud and proud about it. And I don't want to be working in ballet or opera or, things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares about this anymore. All respect to the ballet and opera people out there.
It is difficult to pinpoint exactly when that reality shifted. It felt like waking up from a beautiful, long-forgotten dream, only to realize that the world had changed. Timothée Chalamet drastically altered his artistic destination. When you look at his recent work and public persona, it becomes evident that something fundamental has broken. It is as if his ego, fooled by years of absolute praise and global adoration, decided it was no longer satisfied with being confined to a poetic aesthetic niche. His ego grew too large for the beautiful, quiet cinema that created him. It demanded a larger stage, riskier moves, and mainstream domination. But in doing so, his inflated ego completely erased the very persona that made the world fall in love with him.
We are Marty Mauser. We are Marty Supreme. Right? Even that has a nice ring to it.
Today, when we look back at his early filmography, we are left with a strange sense of mourning. The actor who gave us those soulful, complex performances feels entirely gone. He has been replaced by a brand new persona, a redesigned acting style, and a corporate identity that many critics, and frankly myself, believe is actively destroying his artistic legacy. The shift became impossible to ignore when he stepped into the world of mega franchises. While his performance as Paul Atreides in Dune still carried remnants of his tragic elegance, It forced him into the machinery of corporate Hollywood. Suddenly, he wasn't just an actor, he was a franchise anchor, a face printed out millions of plastic cups and movie theater popcorn buckets. And then came Wonka, a loud, colorful, hyper-commercial musical that felt entirely detached from the artistic soul Chalamet had previously established. It wasn't necessarily a bad performance, but it was a soulless one. It was the moment he traded artistic risk for safe, mainstream appeal. By entering this blockbuster cycle, his acting style transformed. The subtle, nuanced expressions were replaced by theatrical, mass-market performances designed to please everyone and challenge no one. He stopped chasing art and started chasing the box office. The ultimate turning point in this transformation is his project, Marty Supreme. For a significant portion of his original fanbase, this movie represents a form of negative public relations. It is a complete 360-degree identity shift that has done severe damage to his filmography and his personal brand. To put it into perspective, watching this transformation is the cultural equivalent of Leonardo da Vinci or Michelangelo suddenly abandoning their masterpieces to pick up a can of spray paint for street graffiti, or Antonio Vivaldi throwing away his violin to produce a trap rap beat. No one is denying Timothée Chalamet's undeniable acting talent. If his attempt with Marty Supreme proves to be a commercial success, some might argue that his metamorphosis was justified. They might say it was a brave, new artistic vision we should all applaud. This new persona, overly confident, shallow, and desperately chasing mainstream trends, is actively suffocating the complex, rich, and timeless elements that he once promised to leave as his heritage. Chalamet traded the timeless for the temporary. He traded depth for hypervisibility. He chose to stop being an enigma and decided to become a commercial product. It is a tragic, age-old story in Hollywood. The moment an artist believes they are bigger than the art itself, the magic vanishes. When ego enters the room, authentic art is the first thing to be destroyed. And unfortunately, in the case of Timothée Chalamet, the proof is right in front of our eyes.